Hey everyone. I don't do a lot of lives and I really want to be doing more lives with all of you guys. Um, you may have seen a lot of suicide videos on my YouTube channel here. They certainly do make the rounds. And I decided, look, it's Suicide Awareness Month. I do a lot of webinars for free to the public, and I usually do them through Zoom, through my website, frankly. But tonight, I decided to come on and do a live for Suicide Awareness Month. We need to keep talking about this, everyone. And the reason that we need to keep talking about it is, um, as a professional medium, I speak to far too many people that uh, have died by suicide. And there's a common theme with the individuals that I connect with, and that is that they tend to be a little bit more on the sensitive level or higher empathy scale, if you will. That's how I prefer to think about it, on the higher empathy scale. And those individuals are so kind, so sweet. Uh, I understand their pain. I have shared my story on this channel as well. Of frankly, I'm lucky to be here today speaking to you. I have more than one occasion that uh, almost didn't make it myself. So I'm not shy about that. And the reason I shared my story was hopefully to try and inspire others to hang in there. Let's face it, life is hard. Life is very, very hard. So I want to cover a couple of things here. Number one, I would love to talk about the spirit world's point of view, and I may not do it in this order, okay? But I want to talk about the spirit world's point of view and what happens when people transition by suicide into the spirit world. And we want to keep thinking of them as living, because people in the spirit world, I mean, we continue on. Life continues on, thankfully, and they're loved. I also want to share something a little bit personal. I don't know what you all know about me, aside from what I've shared here on YouTube, but uh, everybody has something. And in my history, yeah, I shared my history on another video of mine. But I also contend with epilepsy, and I have to admit it's a royal pain in the butt. You know, you know, I do a lot. I do everything I can to maintain not having seizures, and I've been living with them pretty much forever at this point. But I was planning to do this live on September 25th, but decided to do it tonight. We just finished a webinar for one of our classes, and I'm not going into that because this is not about sales. But last Thursday, it- due to a change in a medicine and whatever, I had a very significant seizure, one that I haven't had anything like that. It actually scared my spouse. Let me put it that way. And I've been with my spouse now for 17 years. So it actually scared her. And as a result, my recovery has been very long. So we don't actually know how long I was seizing, because she walked in on me. I was taking a nap because I just wasn't feeling well. And since then, I've actually felt like either I've been dealing with a brain injury or a concussion, but as a result, in this process of recovery, yep, I've had to clear my readings for those couple days and all of this week. I decided to, because I'm still recovering, which is crazy. But the reason I'm bringing this up is, uh, for some reason, something in there brought about some feelings and thoughts of suicide that I've not contended with like this in many, many, many years. Many years. And I promised myself years ago that if I got into that place of having these deep thoughts of not wanting to be here, and when I tell you they are deep, I mean it's just it's almost like another voice, encouraging you. You're a burden. You're a pain. Look, somebody's got to be taking care of you again. Look, you can't keep your commitments to your clients. The thoughts are they're you're not adding, you're not contributing to this world. I mean, I'm just sharing a few of them. Ways. You can do it this way. You can do it that way. No one will really miss you because between uh, you know epilepsy and dealing with that, that's enough. So now not being able to keep your commitments to your clients, you're letting your clients down because let's face it, mediumship is sacred and it's very, very meaningful to me, and I take it very, very seriously. It's important because uh, we it's sacred. Mediumship is sacred. Our loved ones in the spirit world are sacred to us, right? Friends, it doesn't matter. Our animal companions, they're sacred to us. Therefore, when somebody signs up for a reading, I take it seriously because, yeah, it's a financial investment. It's a time investment. It's placing trust in me, but it's also a very, very vulnerable place to be. When you go for a medium reading, you're placing yourself in a vulnerable position because you so badly want to hear from your loved ones and know that they're okay. So these intrusive suicidal thoughts, along with my recovery that I'm contending with, still, still, frankly, um, have been tough. And so I decided I'm gonna come on and be honest about it. And again, I'm hoping that my honesty will help someone else. Now, I'm very fortunate that I have a good support system. Not everybody does. I know they don't. I see the comments all of the time. Um, I see the supportive comments for people on these videos, and I see the well, I'm just gonna unkind comments, and I'm gonna just say this: suicide is not selfish. It's not a selfish act. When people reach that state, you have to understand, and some people will understand this that are on here that are either watching now or will watch it later. It's important to understand that place that the person is in. I know I'm going to get out of this. This was a chemical disruption and it's being rectified. So I already know that I will be out of this. Does it make the thoughts easier? No. But am I in danger? I'm not. I'm not because I know I will be out of this. But not everybody knows that they will be out of this. So let's have some compassion because when suicidal thoughts disrupt your life, and when I say they are intrusive and disruptive, again, some of you may have experienced this yourself. Others, I know there's somebody listed here, Jennifer, lost someone to suicide, and I call it soul pain. I call it soul pain. And really what's happening here is people want the pain to stop. It's not so much that they want to die, but they want the pain to stop. And when I tell you the thoughts are ugly, if you have not experienced it for yourself, and I truly, truly hope you don't, that that the thoughts are just they're awful. They are cruel. they're mean. I mean, it's like you're being bullied by your own mind, is the only way I know how to describe it. And, younger people in particular are not aware of it. They don't know how to speak of these things. I mean, in my story, I shared, it started at 15 for me, and I was in depression. And I was asked the question of, why do you feel this way? And my answer was, I don't know. I don't know. And I meant it. And if you think about it, my understanding, I'm not a physician by any means, at all. But my understanding is our brains are not fully adult until we're 25. So the reasoning, or what we grow into ideally as we progress in age, not that I like to talk about age, but as we progress in age, you know, we have a different sense of reasoning, a different sense of understanding of our feelings, our thoughts, what's going on with us. But a 9-year old, a 10-year old, 11-year old, a teenager, they may not understand. They just may not be able to answer that question of why they're feeling the way they're feeling. The other thing that's happening is people around you are telling you how needed you are, how wanted you are. I get great comments here. I get really great comments from my clients. I know my family loves me. Um, I know they do. And again, I'm extremely aware of how lucky I am to have that support. I do have a therapist, just in case something like this were to come back up and rear its ugly little head. I always have a plan so it doesn't get to the point where I take action. So I do have a therapist. So again, I know I'm very, very lucky to have that support system around me. And I really want to recognize those of you that don't, because a lot of you out there, you don't. You've been traumatized, you've been hurt, and you know, a lot of us are barely making it, paycheck to paycheck, maybe not even making it paycheck to paycheck, right? A lot of people are struggling financially, and some people also are dealing with mental health issues, whether it's by trauma, or whether it's an inherited condition or a condition they've developed, for who knows. I mean, there's just so many reasons behind mental health issues. So let's try to have some compassion and understanding. And when I say I know that some of you have no one, that's because I had a friend, um, at 16, that had no one. No one. And I spoke to her on the phone the day before she died, and she died by suicide. And she was in a I guess it was like like a homeless type shelter, but for teenagers. Okay, her family didn't want anything to do with her because she had some mental health battles. Right? She's smart. She was smart person. Great sense of humor. Just an absolute beautiful individual. I couldn't do anything at 16. I had no power. And so I know that some individuals have no one. And here's what I say to you: what you don't know is actually how much you're contributing to others. It may sound cliche. I'm not a big fan of cliches, frankly, but it may sound cliche, but it's true. You give a smile to someone, you may be in that same place that they are and not know it. And you give a smile to a stranger, and maybe you save them that day, but you yourself won't know because it's a stranger. We're all connected. You may not feel connected at all. You may not feel connected to anyone. You're doing this on your own. But the thing is, and some of you may not like this, but what I'm going to say is God gave us a beautiful world because God knows how hard life is. And sometimes this beautiful world filled with trees and flowers and things, when you're in that space feeling suicidal, frankly, it may look dulled out. It may look gray. I remember that. Colors didn't pop. But guess what? We still need you. You may not know today. You may not know tomorrow. You may not know what door may open for you. You may have no idea what may be next on your path. But I'm going to speak to you and tell you that if you're having thoughts of suicide, and a lot of people complain about the 988 number, the suicide hotline number, how it's not helpful. I know it helps a lot of people. Maybe you find that that's an avenue that does not work for you. But find one thing that you know about yourself that you can offer to this world. You just haven't had an opportunity to do so yet. Think about that. I fought for myself because I knew I was in there. I knew I was in there. So I had to fight for myself, And it wasn't easy, but if I had transitioned years ago, I wouldn't be having the life I have today. And I honestly, when I tell you, I would have never, ever, ever expected my journey to go the way it did. I went to college for one thing, only to drop out, to discover I actually liked cooking. I discovered I liked cooking because my roommates from college brought home TV dinners. That path where I was going, oh, I don't want to eat that. That led me to start cooking for my roommates, only to discover I really liked it. And I got a restaurant job. And then I went to culinary school. And I worked my way up despite having epilepsy, because I always fought for myself. I worked my way up to the chef level, up until the assistant food service director. Did I ever think I was going to be working professionally as a medium? Are you kidding me? I'm a natural born medium, but that I just thought everybody had that. Okay, now I know everybody has that ability to connect with their own loved ones, but I just thought everybody has this world of imagination. That's what I thought. So, did I see myself where I am sitting today having this conversation with you? Not one bit. Did I see myself even being in a relationship where somebody loves me as I am? No, I did not. I saw myself as a burden. So, just keep in mind to hang in there one step at a time as much as you possibly can. As much as you possibly can. Now, what happens when we can't hang on? Because so many people are unable to hang on. And sometimes, most times, it's a impulsive decision. And let me tell you that your loved ones in the spirit world are loved as they are. And I'm not just saying that to make you feel better, okay? I hear it from them. I hear it from them. I mean, you know, these young people or adults, whomever, whatever the age, when they transition by suicide, they're welcomed. They're welcomed by their family members. They're welcomed by their guides. They're welcomed by any animal companions, their friends, right? Regardless of how or what they did to get there, they're loved as they are. So, for so many parents out there, or spouses, or people, well, parents of any age, frankly, siblings, friends, any, one that that has transitioned by suicide, they're okay. They're okay. They may be working on what they need to work on to help them understand that maybe there was a way that they just couldn't see at the time. That's okay. That's okay. You may wonder now about, can they communicate and give you signs? Yes, they can. Absolutely. They're still people. They just hurt people. And most times they're treated and taken care of as somebody that had an illness like cancer. Okay? There's no judgment in the spirit world, only love and help. Only love and help. And what I find, and you can put comments or questions in there because I'm happy to answer any questions I can. But what I also find from them is they apologize a lot. They do recognize that maybe there were some avenues that they didn't see, right? So they may recognize that. Um, and that's okay because that's part of being human. Um, they know, they know everything that their family is going through. And they also are very aware of, and this is what is so interesting to me, but they're also very aware of some of the stigma that their family has to deal with because they died by suicide. And oftentimes what I hear from them is, then they're not needed in your life. It sounds easy for them to say that, while those of us are here are suffering through their very abrupt and very challenging way to transition. But frankly, they want you to keep talking about them. They want you to keep talking to them. It's okay to make jokes too about some of the things they've done, even if they were under the influence. They like when we joke and tease them. They want to be remembered for the individual that you knew was inside there, not the individual that they got to, that had them take this action. I hope this is making sense. So again, if you have any comments or questions, go ahead and put them in the chat box. Because again, I would like to be able to answer anything here. But I think the main point is, look, one of the questions that comes up often is, if they're okay, then why is it not okay for me to go? Well, here's the deal. You know, maybe you've heard of the Akashic records or Akashic records, that we create a soul plan and to learn these lessons. And some of us may be wondering, why did I sign up for these kinds of lessons here in the physical world? Because, hey, it's not always easy here, is it? So what happens then, right? Because if they're doing okay and they're lived as they are, well, then it must be okay for me to do the same thing to join them. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. We all have our own individual paths, and those in the spirit world want us to continue on to finish our journey. Now, there is some discrepancies at times what mediums believe, and we can only go based on our experiences, right? I don't believe this is written in our plan. That's my belief. Other mediums may say this is written in our plan. Okay. I all I can tell you is we won't fully know until we get there ourselves to get that answer. Okay. My belief is that this is not written in our plan. So, therefore, what does happen to our plan that we did not complete as intended? Well, some people complete it in the spirit world. They keep working on themselves in the spirit world. And maybe in the next lifetime, they'll have to complete some lessons they didn't get to complete here. Now, that might be financial lessons. It doesn't mean that their life is going to be hard again. It just means that there's lessons that they've got to complete. Face it, we all have lessons that we go through here, right? We have lessons of boundaries. We have financial lessons. I don't. There's a long, long list of lessons that we, you know, the I, self growth lessons, right? People who we are a better match with than others, right? There's just so many lessons. So it's important that you understand that it's not okay to join your loved one in the spirit world. But at the same time, they are being taken care of. So that is really, really important. And for the couple of comments here, again, I'm happy to answer any questions while we're here. Yeah, so yeah, Jennifer, Rico's mom, and Lori, I'm so sorry that you've had individuals that have transitioned by suicide. So it's really, really tough. Now, okay, see, uh, Lori is just popping on, and Lori is bringing up something I talked about just a little while ago, is that they can still give signs. So here, this is beautiful. Lori had a visitation dream from an uncle who passed from suicide, and he hugged her. He also looked a little remorseful. Does he mean that he carries this in his afterlife? No, it doesn't. But people sometimes, the way that they will say it in general from the spirit world, in my experience through my readings, is they'll say, I now see there was a different way. And that could be the expression, Lori, that your uncle was giving you, is that he understood now, oh, I didn't have to take that avenue out. There may be a different avenue. Okay. Um, let's see if I can. So I hope that answers your question, Lori. Are they less available than others to tend to us, ease our grief, and visit us? No, they're not. No, they are not. Now they may be working on themselves, but they are very, very clear. At least, again, in my experience, and frankly, to just about most mediums I've spoken with, they're very, very clear that they are helping their loved ones. Sometimes with these gestures of, I give them just a little touch to get up in the day, because grief is tough, man. It's hard. And suicide in particular, or other ways of transitioning, whew, it is rough. And sometimes we just don't want to get up. But our loved ones in the spirit world, whether you feel them, recognize them, or signs or anything, they want to help us. And that does not change from anybody who's died by suicide either. Very important for you to hear that, please. And I only say this based on, look, I've been doing readings for 16 years, reading for people globally, and I say this based on I'm afraid to say the number, but it is a large number of people who have transitioned by suicide, and perhaps I get so many because I myself have been there, or it's just that many people. Okay, so but I learned from them. All these videos I do here on YouTube, I learned from people in the spirit world. So and I believe them, okay? People in the spirit world, they don't lie. They don't lie, and they may say things to help us feel better, but they just don't lie. So I trust them over more than something I might come up with psychically, if you will. Okay, different kind of topic, but they don't lie. So when they are saying to, and every reading is going to be different. That's the other thing. Every reading is going to be different. So when you have, you know, the actions may be the same, but the life that they had is, because they're unique, you're unique, it's going to be different. So they're all going to talk about it differently. So I've kind of compiled it all together, and the messages are very similar amongst them. I'm fine. I take responsibility for my actions contributing to my passing, or I take full responsibility for my transition, and I'm sorry. I want they want to apologize. And what I notice is they don't ask for forgiveness. Be- That's one thing I notice, is that they don't ask for forgiveness. And most times the family understands anyway. Doesn't make it easier just because we understand, right? It doesn't. Of course not. Okay, so Jennifer, you were wondering my boyfriend. Okay, so Jennifer is asking us a question here, and I'm imagining you guys can see the chat box. So, um, I'm sorry about, all the issues with your boyfriend there, Jennifer, because that's quite a lot to contend with. Now we know that when people are dealing with substance issues, addiction is an illness within itself, and along with addiction issues often comes challenges with law, because people are trying to feed that addiction, right? So I'm going to say you're wondering what happens when they cross having done bad things. All right. I don't like to think of it that way. And here's why, because that's a form of judgment, Now, Amy the medium, I'm not here to judge anyone, and Amy Utsman, the person, is not here to judge anyone. It's for us to try and understand how they got to that place. Now, here's one of the things is people that have contended with addiction issues, and there's just so many ways that they get there. Sometimes it's genetic, sometimes it starts with something they were given, right? For pain, and it developed into an addiction. I mean, there's just so many, various ways they get there. And what they do in that state, is that who they really are, though? Is that who they really are? No, it isn't. So we want to think of the person, the true person that is in there. And so that's important to recognize, okay? Is we want to remember the true person that's in there. Also, your experience, Jennifer, that's called a precognition. So you got information probably from your boyfriend's soul, frankly, which that can be a whole long conversation talking about the soul, and maybe we'll do one on the soul in that manner. But here, what we're talking about, That's precognitive information. So that's information we get ahead of time. And usually that information that we get ahead of time in that way is to help us be prepared. That's what that's about. Difficult. Okay. Karen, I am so sorry about your son. And for any of you that have children in the spirit world, or world of spirit, as my guides have recently started calling it, um, I hope that you're a part of Helping Parents Heal. Helpingparentsheal.org is run entirely by parents. It's a not for profit organization, and they have a very robust YouTube channel and so many resources. Okay. So, helpingparentsheal.org is really, really great for parents, and they have a dad's group and a siblings group as well. So, hopefully, that can offer some resources. Um, I don't know, Jennifer, what no means to what I was saying. Okay. What's my take on two suicides in the family? Not related, blood related, though. Again, I'm just going to say that's kind of a hard one for me to answer, not knowing the circumstances, but um, I some people just seem to have more trauma in their families than others that I've seen, and that I have a long-time client that has, like, it's so many traumas that it's just unbelievable that, you think, like, how is that person still continuing on, right? And yet, they are, you know, they've got some kind of strength, I gotta say, and lean on their friends and others, and their jobs. Um, so, what is my take on that? I mean, it could be so many things. So that's kind of it's kind of a broad question. And the fact that they're not blood related, but they're still in the family, well, it really comes down to we're all connected. So anybody you've ever met in your life, you're connected to. So sometimes they come up in readings unexpectedly as well. Now, just to be clear, if somebody has harmed you, you don't have to be with them in the spirit world. But I did a video on that before, relationships in the spirit world, so you can check that out. Okay. All right. Yes, Lisa, right. Helping Parents Heal has been a tremendous help. Yeah, they're phenomenal, phenomenal organization. So, is there any other questions or comments? Because, I mean, I hope you guys found this helpful. That was my goal. That's my aim, always, to be in service and to be helpful. And I was asking, was that really him? No, it wasn't. He was very far away from who he was. Right. And just answering your question about, was that who he really was? It was him in his addiction. Right. So there you go. You've got two individuals in one, right, Jennifer? You have uh, the person that is dealing with the addiction, and then you've got who the person really is at the soul level. And that is who we want to try and identify with, not their actions as a result of the pain that they're in, and that's what it comes down to, is they want out of pain. That's really what it comes down to. So um it's a tough place to be. It is. It really is. And I would just say once again, um sometimes we need just one tiny thing to hold on to. One tiny thing, and just hold on to that. I don't care if it's, a cute stray dog. and you have a cute moment with that dog, hold on to that. That's a gift from someone in the spirit world, that's a gift from them. You may not see it as such, but your day could be tough for 23 hours and 55 minutes, and you could have 5 minutes of a smile. That was a gift from the spirit world trying to keep you here. So I will leave you with that. And once again, let's try so hard to keep their names going out loud, but the name of the person that you knew when they were healthy. Keep their names going because they mattered and they counted while they were here as well. Okay? They matter while they were here. And they still matter because they're still living in the spirit world. They still matter. They still matter. So ideally, we want to get away from the stigma, the word that it's a selfish act. It isn't. It's an act of trying to get out of pain. Okay? It is an act of trying to get out of pain. So I thank you all for joining me and listening and putting your comments and questions here. Okay, so I'm going to answer this one last question before I go, and that is, do people who pass of suicide reside in the same frequency as other past relatives? Absolutely, they can. Of course, they can. Again, they just weren't healthy while they were here. So sometimes they get some more help in the spirit world, you know, to see that other avenue. But again, there's no reason that they can not connect with you. They do give signs. They are being taken care of, and in majority of cases, they're also continuing to work on themselves. So it's us here that we need to take care of ourselves, right? So make sure you are taking care of yourself, respecting your grief, honoring your grief, and recognizing that the action that the person took is not against you or to hurt you, and there wasn't anything that you could do. Recognize there wasn't anything that you could do. So if you carry that guilt, like many people do, of if I would have done this, or if I would have said this, or, and go back on that second guessing stage, please know there wasn't anything that you could do differently. Okay? So I leave you with that. And I'm not really a gushy person, but I'm going to leave you all with a lot of love and true heartfelt best wishes to all of you, your family members, your friends, anybody that has been affected by suicide. Let us continue to change the story from selfishness to they were in a pain that we could not reach. That's what it comes down to. So thank you, everybody. Take good care of yourselves. And again, thank you for listening, and hope you found it a little bit helpful. Have yourselves a great evening. All right. All right. Take good care.